Hey, what's up, guys? Are we live? The live stream seems to be offline. Can you guys hear me or see me? This is the same old situation that I go through every single Thursday, so my stream doesn't catch up quickly, so I don't really know whether I am live or not. Good afternoon, welcome back, guys. Stream doesn't catch up. There you go, we're live. How was you guys' trading session today? Good? Did you kill it? Could you guys use my updates in a successful way? We had a very solid day today, guys, trading with the SPY. I was able to close up to 4 consecutive successful trades, day trades. Where are you from? I'm from Venezuela, bro. Vida nos States. And me, I already have a request. Alta Beauty. I haven't taken a look at Alta in quite some time. So welcome back, guys. If you have any questions, if you have any requests, please drop a comment down below and let me know. If you want me to go over any stock. Today we had a green day across the board. By the way, guys, keep in mind, love your updates, bro. Appreciate. Thanks, David. Yeah, we killed it today, guys. I mean, it doesn't work out like this every single day. But today we took a bunch of day trades. I hope for most of you guys who have been able to take advantage of my updates. And today, 436.20 was absolutely critical, guys. As you guys can see over here, this is my channel on Discord. And if I remember correctly, I was able to take up to 4 day trades today with the SPY. 1, let me see, 2, 3, and 4 successful day trades. Basically, guys, basing these trades on 436.20. This was our pivot today. So every single morning, guys, when I post my pre-market commentary, pay close attention to the pivot that I am pointing out. And that pivot could change. It did actually change today because we opened lower once the jobless claims report, claims report came out. So we saw some sort of drop, some sort of sizable drop in the SPY. And I had to change the first pivot that I told you guys about at 438. I changed it, or I switched it over 436.20. So above 436.20, holding 436.20 as support, I was able to take, as I just showed you guys, 4 successful day trades today with the SPY. It was a very good day. And let's hope for tomorrow to be as successful or even more successful than today. By the way, keep in mind that tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. we have the core PCE report coming out. That's an inflation report that the Federal Reserve pays attention to. And it is very likely to move the tape, but we are going to have up to 1 hour before the trading session opens in order to determine what the price action is telling us. Remember that. We get macro stuff throughout the trading sessions. Usually at 10 a.m. we get macro stuff or macro reports. The most important macro reports come out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but price is the absolute arbiter. So the report comes out, we let the markets digest whatever the report stated, and then we simply follow the price action, obviously, right? So circling back to what happened today in the markets, it was a green day across the board. Very healthy day, guys, for the bulls from a rotation standpoint. I am about to explain that to you further. So the Russell 2000 went up today 1.23%. The NASDAQ closed flat because the tech sector didn't have a good day. The Dow went up 0.80% and the S&P 500 went up 0.45%. The S&P 500, and this is something that I have been telling you guys on Discord, the S&P 500, you guys know that the SPY is the ETF that follows the S&P 500. You guys can track the S&P 500 with the ticker symbol SPX. That's the cash index. Very important. So the SPX, the cash index, is actually more important than the SPY because the SPY tracks the S&P 500. So we are at a very critical level over here because the S&P 500 hasn't been able to close above 4,400 for, I don't know, like 2 weeks. So today the bulls have a very tough task, arguably, trying to burst above 4,400. If we take a look at the sectors, guys, take a look. Today was a very, but I gotta emphasize, very healthy day for the markets. So the financial sector was the one that led the way, up 1.74%, materials up 1.26%, energy up 1.15%, industrials up 0.96%. So we had cyclicals leading the way today, and we saw a legit, let's say, outflow from the year-to-date winners into the year-to-date losers. A very healthy rotation day. And now the big question is, since technology, which went up 0.18%, it pretty much closed flat. Communications, consumer discretionary, Amazon and Tesla, this sector went up 0.11%, and communication services went down 0.56%. So we can make the case that we saw money rotating from the year-to-date winners into the year-to-date losers, which is very healthy. But take a look at the performance of the S&P 500 or the SPY. The S&P went up 0.45%, and we had a very choppy day. So the big question is, since these three sectors that I just told you guys about are the ones that have been doing the heavy lifting year to date, can the markets keep going higher with these sectors lagging? That is going to be interesting in the upcoming trading sessions. I have been investing long term for a while, trying to start day trade. Good, bro. Day trading is a different animal, very different animal relative to long-term investment. When it comes to long-term investing, the fundamental part is the most important aspect that you need to take into account. You need to know how to read income statements and balance sheets and cash flow statements and stuff like that. I can do it. I know how to do it. I love fundamental analysis as well. But when it comes to day trading, as I just told you guys, price is the absolute arbiter. So I just told you the S&P 500. Let me show you guys the SPX, which is the cash index. It closed today at 4,900. Sorry, guys. I take that back. I am a bit tired, that I do live stream throughout the whole trading session. So the SPX closed today at 4,396 points. So we are right below a very important number, a fat number, 4,400. So if the bulls in the SPX can burst above 4,400, that is going to imply, let me put up here the SPY. That is going to imply, let me zoom in here, that the bulls are going to be bursting above, in the case of the SPY, $439.20-ish, which could be opening the door for, first of all, let me zoom in a bit more over here. Let me show you. There you go. First of all, 440.30. That would be the next important toll for the bulls if they can burst above 439. So, and in the case of $440.50 each, this is a previous support back from mid-June. What I am thinking about for tomorrow's trading session, and again, before the trading session opens, I am going to be, as I always tell you, calling balls and strikes in my Discord channel, letting you guys know the most important technical areas that we need to keep an eye on. So if tomorrow we happen to see a leg higher, that could happen. Maybe the core PCE happens to come out better than expected, or we could say better cooked than expected, depending on whatever the cooks of the bureau are going to deliver tomorrow. So if we open above 439, 439.20, we have an immediate gap to the upside up to $440.50-ish. However, what happens if the reaction of the markets tomorrow is negative? We have two very important pivots that I am going to be keeping a close watch on tomorrow. First, 436.20, the pivot from which we were able to take a bunch of successful day trades today. And below $436.20, we have the 5-day moving average, which happens to be kind of flat as of now. at 435. So these are the levels that I am going to be monitoring tomorrow. Again, 439.20, above 439.20, we have 440.50, give or take. And in case of an opening of the trading session with some sort of retracement, our today's pivot, 436.20 and below 436.20, 435. At 435, if we happen to see some sort of quick drop, buyers might be stepping in near 435 approximately. Thanks, bro, for the very informative and in-depth video. Not a problem. We are here to help. Absolutely, I've been studying, I've done some forex in the past, but definitely interested. Perfect. We are here to help. Not only me personally, but the other pro investors that we have in Discord. Okay, guys. So, what stocks do you want me to go over? By the way, I was almost about to forget to show you this. Let me show you. Take a look at the anchored volume weighted average price, the AVWAP, guys. That comes from the high or from the year-to-date high in the case of the SPY. Take a look. 436.20. So this is why I told you guys over and over and over again today throughout the trading session that 436.20 was extremely important, because I was taking a look at the anchored volume weighted average price that comes from the high of the year, that in the case of the SPY is at around 443.60-ish approximately. Is your patron in Spanish or it's both English? No, it is in Spanish exclusively. Correct. Yeah, so I am live streaming over there. But you don't need to sign up for my Patreon. I am basically providing you guys the same information, the same info that I tell to my community on my Discord channel. So you guys are good on Chris' server. Okay? Perfect. So 436.20. Let's see what happens tomorrow with the SPY. I have the first request. I have Ulta Beauty. Let me take a look at Ulta. I haven't taken a look at Ulta in quite some time. It went up today 0.69% and closed the trading session at $465.28. So the bulls have been making progress over here, guys. We are still dealing with a major downtrend. We have a downward sloping 100-day moving average. The bulls are trading below and upward sloping 200-day moving average, which implies that this moving average isn't going to be acting like such a big resistance for the bulls in comparison to the downward sloping 100-day moving average. I have told you guys on multiple occasions that the slope of any moving average is very important. So take a look at how the 100-day moving average is downward sloping. That implies, sorry guys, I have a telephone caller here. I'm live. What happened? Oh my God. Oh guys. Okay. Hold on for a second. I have an emergency here. I will be back in 20 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Just stay over there, guys, because my wife just got back home and the door is locked. So I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, sorry guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. But the door was locked and my wife just got back home. Okay, so again, as I was telling you, this 200-day moving average, since this moving average is upward sloping, it isn't going to be as hard for the bulls in order to take it out relative or in comparison to the 100-day moving average, because the 100 DMA is downward sloping. So we are still talking about a major downtrend. However, we can see over here an upward sloping 5-day moving average, which implies that in minor time frames, the buyers are starting to gain control of the stock of this company. So what could be a potential trade over here, guys? Let me see. So we have a previous resistance, and I'm going to draw a line over here. We have a previous resistance at $451. This is a previous resistance for Ulta back from late November. And this is also a previous support back from June 23rd. So as of now, the bulls closed the trading session. I am going to zoom in over here, slightly above this upward sloping 5-day moving average. So this is a very positive sign. If the bulls can gather momentum above $460-ish, again, 5-day moving average, that could be a sign that they are gathering momentum in order to burst above this upward sloping 200-day moving average. If that were the case, we have room or potential room up to $485, which happens to be a previous resistance back from late May. If we were able to take this trade with Ulta, so from $460-ish up to $485, this would be a 5% profit trade. Another potential trade would be a retracement of Ulta down to this previous resistance at around $451. If it happens to bounce back up, we have two potential gaps to the upside. The first one up to the upward sloping 5-day moving average at around $461. This would be a 2% profit trade. And up to the 200-day moving average, this would be a 4.52% profit trade. So this is an interesting stock. Now let me take a look at the supply and the demand of Ulta. Let me take a look over here. Let me see. And I also would like to take a look, guys, at the anchored volume weighted average price displayed from the last earnings report of Ulta. So let me see. And take a look, guys. The demand started to rise, but now is starting to decrease. And the supply is slightly below average. Remember, guys, that what you guys can see on top is the demand, so pretty much buyers. And on the bottom of this chart, you guys can see the supply, so sellers. So we have a descending demand. However, the demand is way above the supply, and the supply is starting to drop as well. So this is an acceptable market structure from a supply and demand standpoint for Ulta. So I would say that the stock of this company is likely to burst above $472 sooner rather than later. Let me take a look at the anchored volume weighted average price of Ulta. Let me see from the last earnings report, because this stock collapsed, guys, after it posted its last earnings report. Let me see over here. Okay, let me draw the line. Let me see. And take a look, guys. Yeah, we can confirm that buyers are regaining control of the stock. So the AV web that comes from the last earnings report of Ulta is signaling $430. So we have very encouraging signs in the case of Ulta. Where do you trade live? On my Discord. I am trading, not on my Discord, on my Patreon. Yeah, I am trading live for my guys, correct. I do it. I live stream throughout the whole trading session. Yeah, but it is in Spanish, guys. So it isn't going to work for you. Apple, Nicole Lee. Let me take a look at Apple. Okay, let me see. Apple. Please drop a comment if you want me to go over any other stock. Apple goes up to, and by the way, I think that Apple was about to hit a $3 trillion market cap. Did it hit it? Almost, guys. So if Apple, guys, happens to hit $190.70, that's it. $3 trillion of market capitalization. If we want to put that figure into context, guys, figure this. Apple, one single stock, has a larger market capitalization than the entire Russell 2000. One single stock, guys, is worth more than 1,970 stocks or something like that. Unbelievable. So if I pull up here a 4-hour chart, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this chart. This is a clear uptrend. We have a semi-ascending 200-day moving average, an upward sloping 100-day moving average. If I zoom in here, we also have a rising 5-day moving average. So there's nothing wrong with this chart, guys. I wouldn't chase it here. A bull would argue that since Apple closed the trading session today, guys, pretty much at a new all-time high, bull would argue that we have two potential gaps to the upside. The first one, the $3 trillion market cap, which comes at around $190.70. And another, I would say, mega bull of Apple would be arguing that $200 is the next fat number. Because when you guys see a stock, guys, trading at a new all-time high, we don't have any previous technical reference to the upside. So how higher can Apple go? It's anyone's guess. 195? I don't know. 193, 197, who knows? So if you guys want to take a trade to the upside with Apple, I mean, I can clearly see here two trades. One to the upside and the other to the downside. We have the 5-day moving average, which is rising, which is a very positive sign from a technical standpoint, coinciding with a previous resistance back from mid-June, and also a previous resistance, back from late June or from the most recent days, and this is also a previous resistance back from mid-June. So any retracement of Apple down to 188, and if the bulls happen to hold this level as support, we can see Apple bouncing back up and filling this new gap, up to the brand new all-time high of Apple at $190. This would be a, 1.50% profit trade. However, on the flip side, and if the tech sector keeps showing some sort of weakness, if this 5-day moving average at around 188 happens to be broken to the downside, we have room to maybe 185 to the downside. This would imply a 1.50% profit trade or something like that. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with this chart, and I guess that the market structure of Apple is gonna confirm to me what I am telling you guys. Let me see Apple. Let me see Apple Inc. Let me take a look at the demand and the supply. And yeah, take a look, guys. The demand is flat. Okay, so buyers are, let's say, persistent. In the case of Apple, they aren't walking away from the stock of this company. And take a look at the supply, which is decreasing, but about to burst above average. So I would say that little by little, sellers are going to start to show up over here. So we might be about to see some sort of profit taking. In the case of Apple, nothing to be really worried about for the bulls of Apple. Maybe a retracement down to 188 or 185. In regular market conditions, these two spots should be providing support. So Apple could be bouncing back up from there. You can guess the top, can you? No. RSI can measure the strength, but guys, and in the case of the RSI, in the case of the RSI, this is a tough one, guys. So I do use the RSI, but for some people, the RSI is some sort of religion. We can see the RSI of Apple on the 4-hour chart at 71 points. We can make the case that it is a bit elevated. Let me pull up the 1-year chart, 71 points, the same thing. Some people say that a stock is overbought. How can we determine that a stock is overbought or oversold? It's difficult, guys. So yes, I use the RSI in order to try, the key word here is try, to determine overextensions to either the upside or the downside. But I'm not going to be shorting any stock based on an elevated reading of the RSI. So I'm not going to do that. And I am not very likely to buy the dip with a very low reading of the RSI. So you guys have to be very picky with the RSI. Okay? What I use the most in order to short or go long any stock is the market structure. I take a look at the demand and the supply. If I have a rise in demand and a fall in supply, I am very likely to take a trade to the upside. And if I see the demand going lower and the supply rising, that's a very favorable, let's say, setup in order to short a stock. Gilson Morusma, AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. Let me take a look at AMD. I have a little loss over here, guys. I told you last week that I have 75 shares of AMD. I entered the trade at $112.30, something like that. I haven't averaged down the position. I'm just holding. I think that this AI mania is going to keep going. And I have a price target in order to close this position at 115 bucks. So in the case of AMD, this is an uptrend, guys. We saw some sort of profit taken. We have a bad sign from a minor time frames perspective because we have a downward sloping 5-day moving average. However, in major time frames, and you guys know that major time frames are more important than minor time frames, we have an upward sloping 200-day moving average and an upward sloping as well 100-day moving average. We can actually make the case, guys, and you guys are going to tell me, well, Alvaro, are you crazy? No. I mean, AMD was too far away from home base. You guys know, if you have watched some of my live streams, that when I talk about home base, I talk about the 100-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. So 2 weeks ago, AMD was trading, guys, let me show you. AMD was 42% above its 100-day moving average. From what I said, that's an overextension to the upside. And it was, let me show you over here, and AMD was, let me see, 61% above its 200-day moving average. So we can make the case that the pullback that we just saw is very healthy. Right now, AMD is trading 16% above its 100-day moving average. So we saw some sort of healthy pullback. The bulls ended up buying the dip at 105 bucks. I am going to zoom in here. This was a spot in which AMD was supposed to find support at 105 bucks. Happens to be a previous support back from late May. Now the bulls are starting to make some progress because we have a downward sloping 5-day moving average, which implies, as I just told you guys, that sellers are regaining control in minor time frames of the stock of this company. However, the bulls were able to take out, or were able to burst above this 5-day moving average yesterday, and today they held this 5-day moving average at around $109 as support. This is a very encouraging sign. So if the bulls can consolidate, or if they can keep consolidating above $109, 110 bucks, the next important gap over here is going to be, or is very likely to be, up to 115 bucks. As I just told you guys, this is a previous resistance back from June 22nd. So the RSI, if we want to talk about the RSI, is at 49 points. That implies that AMD is, and I am quoting, neither oversold nor overbought. So this is an encouraging short for AMD. Remember, guys, and I told you guys this last Thursday, if you are going to take trades with any semiconductor stock, you name it, NVDA, Intel, Micron, AMD, whatever it is, take a look, please, at the semiconductor ETF, SMH. If this ETF is falling off a cliff, let's say that you're expecting AMD or NVIDIA to find support at any given spot, those stocks are unlikely to find any support if the SMH is falling off a cliff. Okay, let me take a look at the supply and the demand of AMD. By the way, guys, let me take a look at the volume weighted average price of AMD. You guys know that I am 100% improvising over here, guys. So, sorry about that. Let me take a look, guys. So we have, let me see. So, take a look, guys, at the spot that the bulls of AMD closed the trading session at today. Take a look at this line. This is an anchored volume weighted average price that comes from the last earnings report of AMD. This is very bullish at around $109. But now I am going to draw an AVWAP from the year-to-date high of AMD, 118 bucks. So very important support at around $109. And if AMD keeps going, and if it is able to burst above 115 bucks, which is the price target that I have in order to close the 75 shares that I purchased of AMD we have another gap, another potential gap up to this anchored volume weighted average price that comes from the year-to-date high, 118 bucks. We can round it up. And now let me take a look at the supply and the demand of AMD. All right, let me see. This is a very detailed, guys. analysis of the stocks that you guys are asking about, take a look. This is not a good sign. We have a decline in demand and we have an ascending supply that is above average. So we have to be very careful here. The demand versus the supply makes me think that, let me pull up here the chart of AMD, that the bulls are going to struggle at around 115 bucks if this previous support happens to be visited. So there you go. AMD. Amazon, do you think it will come back up and where to? Let me take a look at Amazon. AMCN. Let's see. It went down today, 0.88%, and it closed the trading session at $128.90. Guys, the bulls have been failing over and over and over and over again over this blue line that you guys can see over here. This is a 100-week moving average. Very important and major time frame. Time frame. I take that back. A very important moving average, a major moving average. And take a look at how the bulls have failed right at this 100-week moving average on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 occasions. Very important spot. So I'm thinking that if the bulls can gather momentum and if they can take out, again, this 100-week moving average that comes at around $130, we have a next gap up to 133, 134 bucks. We can round it up. 134 bucks happens to be a previous support back from July of last year. So this would be the bullish trade to the upside. And we can make the case, guys, that the bulls are gathering momentum over here, right? I mean, if I zoom in, we can even make the case that the bulls are working on some sort of a bull flag over here, a non-academic one. So watch out for Amazon bursting above 134 bucks. Very important spot. The bulls lost today or closed the trading session below the 5-day moving average, which is still rising. That's a good sign. So any retracement, in my opinion, and now I am going to take a look at the market structure of Amazon, any retracement down to 127 bucks could be bought up, guys. 127 bucks is a previous resistance back from June 20th, and this is also a previous resistance back from early June. Interesting spot here for Amazon. $126 is approximately, if we happen to grab shares or calls of Amazon at around $126.50 up to the 5-day moving average, $129. This would imply a 1.41% profit trade up to the 100-week moving average, $130. This would imply a 3% profit trade. So there's nothing wrong with this chart. It is under the absolute control of buyers. Clear uptrend. We have an upward sloping 100-day moving average. We can make the case, however, there's something wrong with the chart. The 200-day moving average is still downward sloping. So that's the only negative, and I'm quoting, quote-unquote, negative aspect that we can point out about the technical chart of Amazon. Let me take a look at the supply and the demand of amazing Amazon. Let me see. AMZN. Come on, pull it up. What's going on here? Okay, amazing Amazon. Let me see. Take a look, guys. Ascending demand and a falling supply that is about to fall below average. So I'm thinking that any retracement down to $126, and again, guys, in normal market conditions, if the core PCE tomorrow happens to come out way worse than expected and the markets start to freak out because inflation is getting out of control once again and Powell is going to hike rates up to 7% or whatever it is. So if the markets happen to start to go lower as a whole, then this support at around 126 bucks might not hold. But in normal market conditions, any retracement down to 126.60, I think, is a buy the dip opportunity. Can you go over Bank of America? Absolutely. Sure. Let me go test it also. Okay, let me take a look at Bank of America. So yesterday we had the stress tests for the banks. Everyone knew that the result of the test was going to be positive. So the day before, guys, we had Powell saying in Portugal, I think that he was in Portugal saying that the U.S. Financial system is, he says, what does he say? Is sound and resilient. And the next day, we were waiting for the stress test. So this was a no-brainer. Bank of America went up today 2.10%, and it closed the trading session at $28.66. This is a major downtrend, downward sloping 200-day moving average, downward sloping 100-day moving average, and the bulls have a big test ahead of them near $29.20. Let me draw a line over here. Oh, my bad. Where is it at? Okay. Let me see. What is going on with the line? Okay, no, my bad. I am drawing it in the wrong way. Okay. So check this out, guys. $29.70. This is a spot in which Bank of America failed on multiple occasions during this month. And this is also a previous resistance back from late April. And take a look at this, guys. This previous resistance at which back failed on multiple occasions happens to coincide with none other than a downward sloping 100-day moving average. This is going to be a very, very, but very tough spot for the bulls, probably, I would say, because we always have to talk about this business in probability terms. So watch out for 29.70. This could even represent a short opportunity for Bank of America. We have a descending 5-day moving average that is starting to flatten out. So that's positive. So I would be waiting, guys, for some sort of process of consolidation of Bank of America slightly above, let me zoom in here, this 5-day moving average is above $28.30. In fact, guys, any retracement down to $28.20, 30 cents could be a buy the dip opportunity. $28.20 is also a previous resistance back from early May, and this is also a previous support back from late March. So if the bulls happen to pull back a bit and pay a visit down to $28.20, we could see the bulls finding support over there. And if they happen to bounce back up from this spot from $28.20 up to the area of resistance in which they failed at today, $29 pretty much. This would be a 2.54% profit trade, and up to the downward sloping 100-day moving average, this would be a 5% profit trade. So very ugly looking chart. Be careful here, guys. This is a major downtrend, and we hadn't seen quite yet an upward sloping 5-day moving average, which would be a sign that the bulls are starting to make some progress over here, and we have a downward sloping 100 DMA. So Bank of America is guilty until proven innocent. Let me see if we have some sort of encouraging sign for Bank of America from a demand and supply standpoint. Let me see and take a look, guys. Horrible, but horrible, terrible market structure. Take a look. Remember, on top we have the demand, and on the bottom we have the supply. So we have a fall in demand, and we have a supply that is starting to rise. It is pretty much at the same level of the demand. So buyers are not in control of Bank of America quite yet. I don't see the stock of this bank going higher than $29.87, or let's say let's round it up. 30 bucks. We can round it up. Let me take a look, guys, at the anchor volume weighted average price of Bank of America from its 52-week low. So let me see if we see some sort of encouraging signs over here. If the buyers are making any progress. Is this the 52-week low? Yeah, they got it. This is the 52-week low. Let me see. Let me draw an anchored volume, an anchored volume weighted average price over here, and take a look, guys. $28.50. So this is a very important spot, guys. This anchored volume weighted average price implies, guys, that the average market participant that opened a position in Bank of America since the stock of this bank hit a 52-week low as of now, has an average price of $28.50. So this area of $28.50 or $28.30 is going to be a very, but very important support for Bank of America, TESI. Okay, and we are 40 minutes in. Okay, let me take a look at good old TESI. Let me see, 257 bucks. It went up today 0.49%. By the way, guys, the delivery numbers are coming out on Sunday, I would say. And you guys know that I am a shareholder of Tesla. I know the stock of this company very, but very well. I don't know if the deliveries, or let's say a very positive delivery figure for June and also for Q2 of this year is going to pump up the stock. I wouldn't be so sure about that. And why? Well, because the markets have already priced in a lot of good news in the case of Tesla. So get this, guys. Since early May up to this day, Tesla is up 70%. Unbelievable. So I would say that a bunch of good news were already priced in for TESI. You never know. This is a very valuable stock. And from a fundamental standpoint, the most concerning, let's say, matter for Tesla as of now is the automotive gross margin. So maybe Tesla delivered a bunch of vehicles, or maybe Tesla could post a better than expected delivery figure for, as I just told you guys, June and also Q2 of this year. But the markets could be like, I don't know, maybe you're selling more cars, or you're selling as many cars as we were waiting for. But what is your automotive gross margin looking like as of now? Because you have been dropping prices of your cars and stuff like that. So I don't know. But that is just an interesting fact about the upcoming weekend when it comes to Tesla that you need to keep in mind. By the way, guys, keep also in mind that on Monday, the markets are going to be working from 9:30 a.m. up to 1 p.m. It's going to be a half day, and it might be a voting trading session with low volume and stuff like that. So we could kind of make the case that we are about to see a long weekend, a 4-day weekend. Just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm talking too much over here about Tesla. All right, so what is going on? We are seeing an uptrend, but as I just told you, in the case of Amazon, we still have over here a downward sloping 200-day moving average. So I wouldn't call this an uptrend, even though we can see an upward sloping 100-day moving average, and despite the fact that the bulls were able to close yesterday's trading session and today's trading session as well, sorry guys, above this white line, the 5-day moving average. So 255 bucks is a very important spot for TESI. Let me pull up here, guys. I need to pull up a major time frame, I think. Let me see. There you go. So get this, guys. 255 bucks happens to be a previous resistance for Tesla back from April of 2021. How about that, huh? So very important spot. Any process of consolidation of the bulls above this 5-day moving average and above 255 bucks could be an excuse for the bulls to gather momentum in order to fill this very important gap up to 265 bucks. This is a previous resistance back from June 14. So this would be the main gap to the upside. However, on the flip side, if the bulls lose this support, this 5-day moving average, which is kind of descending, we could make the case, we have room down to 240 bucks, which is a previous support back from 2 days ago. Okay, so these are the two scenarios that I am thinking about Tesla over here. The RSI is sitting at 54 points, so we can make the case again that Tesla isn't, quote unquote, neither oversold nor overbought. And now let me take a look at the market structure of TESI. Let me see, TSLA. Alrighty, TSLA. Come on, pull up. There you go. So what is the demand and the supply looking like? Take a look at the demand, guys. On the top of this chart, it is falling. So buyers are starting to walk away from TESI. we can also make the case that the supply is falling and below average, but it isn't a good sign seeing the demand going lower. So I'm thinking that if we happen to see or another push to the upside, and if Tesla fills this gap up to $265, this would be a sell the reap opportunity, at least from where I'm sitting. And full disclosure, guys, I am shorting Tesla via TSLQ. So I have a very important position from a long-term perspective, and I am always trying to hedge that position because I have 280 shares of Tesla at $80 or $85 or something like that. So I am shorting this name in order to hedge my long-term position. Okay, guys. Any other request over here? We are, hold on, 45 minutes in. We could be wrapping it up. Can share, we did Tessie. Did we do Uber? No, we didn't do Uber, right? No, we didn't do Uber. We can wrap it up with Uber. Let me see. Uber Technologies. Let me see over here. It went down today 3.75%, and it closed the trading session at $42.58. Nothing wrong with the chart. This is a major uptrend. We can see over here an upward sloping 200-day moving average, upward sloping 100-day moving average. However, these sellers are starting to make some progress over here because they were able to break to the downside this 5-day moving average. So let me draw a line over here. We have a potential support coming up for Uber near $42.20. $42.20 is a previous resistance back from mid-June, and this is also a previous support back from late June. This could be a potential buy the dip opportunity from $42-ish up to the 5-day moving average. This could be a 4% profit trade, and up to the 52-week high of Uber at around $45. This could represent a 7% profit trade. However, if we keep seeing profit trading in the case of Uber, and if this support of $42 happens to be broken to the downside, we have another gap to the downside. Sorry about what's up here. Down to $40.50. This is a previous support back from mid-June, and this is also a previous resistance back from early June as well. So these are the potential scenarios for Uber. Over here, nothing wrong with the chart. Let me draw, guys, an anchored value weighted average price from the last earnings report of Uber. I'm curious about this. I think that this is a ticker that we could be taking a trade with. Let me see. And the last earnings report came out here. Let me delete this. There you go. So let me see. $39. So the average market participant that opened a position on Uber since its last earnings report has an average price as of now of $39. The stock of this company is under the total control of buyers. And let me take a look at the supply and the demand of Uber. Over here, supply and the demand. Let's see. There you go. Alrighty. Take a look at the demand, guys. It is through the roof. And the supply is rising. And we can reconcile this chart with the technical chart because we have seen some sort of profit taken and the supply is above average. But give me a break, guys. The demand is still skyrocketing. So I think that this dip might end up being bought up at $42 or $40.50-ish approximately. Okay, guys, Coinbase. Okay, let's do another one. GDX, gold. What happened with the Dixie today, guys? The Dixie went up 0.43%. What happened with gold? Let me see. You see. Gold futures. Yeah, gold went down today, guys, because the Dixie went higher. You guys know that the Dixie or the US dollar is inversely correlated to precious metals. So that's the reason why gold went down today. I guess the GDX also went lower. Let me see. Yes. I don't like this chart. I mean, We have a downward sloping 5-day moving average, so sellers are in control of GDX in minor time frames. GDX is trading below an upward sloping 100-day moving average and also an upward sloping 200-day moving average. So the bulls are fighting tooth and nail over here in order to preserve some sort of an uptrend. Even though the 200-day moving average was broken to the downside recently, in the case of GDX, guys, I would just wait for a pop above $30. If the bulls can consolidate above $30, we have a gap. We have another gap to the upside up to $31.20, which happens to be the area, the level in which this upward sloping 100-day moving average is coinciding with a previous resistance that acted as such during June. And this is also a previous resistance back from mid-March. So if we were able to take a trade on GDX from $30-ish up to $31.12, this would be a 4% profit trade. Now let me take a look at Coinbase, which has been going on a tear, guys, right? Not a problem, anytime. So coin went up today 2.37% and it closed the trading session at $72.43. What is Bitcoin doing, guys? Because we have gotten a bunch of good news about the crypto space. We have a bunch of ETFs, that are going to be launched by BlackRock, and I don't know if Fidelity is also is about to roll out some sort of Bitcoin ETF. In my opinion, this is some sort of conspiracy theory that I have. These big financial institutions are thinking about more regional bank failures, which could, be a very positive catalyst for the crypto space as a whole. And now, what do you know? They are about to roll out some Bitcoin-related ETFs. What a coincidence, right? So let me take a look at coin. And needless to say, guys, if you are going to trade crypto-related stuff, you need to make sure that Bitcoin is going in your favor. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay. The RSI is a bit elevated, 76 points on the 4-hour chart. The bulls have made an unbelievable progress over here. So they were able to burst above the 200-day moving average, 100-day moving average. We can clearly see over here an upward sloping 5-day moving average, which implies that buyers are in control or are regaining control of this stock in minor time frames. And let me see, yeah, we have a higher high here, guys. So is Coinbase about to reverse this horrible downtrend that Coinbase has been dealing with since, forever ago? Who knows? I wouldn't chase it over here. I would be waiting for some sort of pullback of coin down to, let me draw a line over here, down to $68. 68 bucks is a previous resistance back from late March, and this is also a previous resistance back from mid-February. That, by the way, happens to coincide with this upward sloping 5-day moving average. So from 68 bucks up to the spot at which Coinbase failed out today, 75 bucks-ish. This would be an 8% profit trade. So don't chase it here and wait for a pullback, maybe down to 68 bucks-ish. Let me take a look at I'm curious about the volume weighted average price of Coinbase, guys. From, let me see, it's 52-week low. Let me see, what do I find here? Let me delete this, remove this. I use a lot, guys, the volume weighted average price. What is going on here? Let me see, guys. There you go. That I am improvising here 100% and speaking my second language, guys. This isn't easy. Okay, this would be January 5th. Is it? Was this a 52-week low? Yeah, correct. Okay, let me see. Let me draw an AV web from here, guys, to see what we find. Let me see. Take a look, guys. 60 bucks. So Coinbase is starting to look very attractive. And since we have the volume weighted average price that comes from its 52-week low sitting at 60 bucks, So if this support of 68 bucks happens to be broken to the downside, and if we happen to see a massive flush down of Coinbase, I might be a buyer near 60 bucks ish approximately. Now let me take a look at the market structure. So supply and demand of Coinbase. Let me see. Coin over here. And take a look at this market structure, guys. Oh boy. What did you see over here, guys? Taking into account what I just told you about the demand and the supply. Take a look at the demand, guys. This blue shaded region, it is through the roof. And take a look at the supply, sellers. Remember, buyers on top, sellers on the bottom. Take a look at the supply. Decreasing and below average. So this is a buy the dip opportunity, in my opinion, near 68 bucks in, again, regular market conditions. If Bitcoin is falling off a cliff, then this support around 68 bucks might not hold, and I am not going to be chasing Coinbase over here. Okay, guys, I am going to wrap it up here. I have been streaming for you, 55 minutes, guys. So I hope you guys liked today's stream. Tomorrow is going to be probably a very exciting day because we have an important macro report coming out that might move the tape. So thank you very much, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys next Thursday live, obviously, and I will be talking with you in just a few minutes once again in Discord. Thank you very much. Bye, guys. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.